You probably wonder why do we need it? Of course, a Soviet person was always under surveillance of the Communist Party.
Wow.
And they always need to check what media you are reading, what newspapers you're reading. Even in the bathroom, the big brother is always watching you. What else is here?
What is good, everyone? It's your boy CruXido Mack, and yeah, welcome back to CruXido Mack channel. So yeah, for all you guys that is new in the channel, welcome to CruXido Mack channel. So yeah, it's been a while since I did a lot of reaction videos. So yes, I did from time to time, but not very often. Last 2024, that was a busy year for me. I did music. So yeah, CruXido Mack, the album and No Future album is available now on all music platform online, from Spotify to YouTube Music, Apple Music. Check out CruXido Mack, the album and No Future album, and I've released some single as well, and I'm going to release another album this year 2025. So I'm gonna do a rather reaction video about the Russia. So yeah, for you guys, we all know what happened to Russia and Ukraine, and everyone is just looking Russia as the bad side of the world. So now I've got a friend in Russia and I've got Yuri as well, and they're not all like that. It's just a conflict and we don't want to talk about that war anymore, the Ukraine versus the Russia. So we just want to look at what Russia and what is living in Russia actually. So there's a lot to know about Russia. So this video is a random video that was sent to me. This is my Russian apartment tour, Gray Soviet building explained. So this is from LA, from Russia. So we're gonna see what is actually living in Russia. So yes, here we go.
Привет! Welcome to my Russian apartment tour. For the last year, when I didn't travel, I stayed in Moscow, and today I will take you inside my humble housing named Khrushchevka. I will explain you the story behind grey Soviet blocks and why Russia is full of them, and I will show you how most of the Russians really live. But before we step inside, let's take a walk around my neighborhood. Not all parts of Moscow are impressive like the Red Square. In fact, there are many neighborhoods like mine, characterized by typical Soviet-era residential buildings. By the way, all these buildings have their own story, from when they were built to their unique features. Almost every Soviet leader tried to solve the housing issue. That's why these buildings are named after the leaders that built them: Stalinka, Khrushchevka, Brezhnevka, and Putinka. Wait, Putin...
Hold on. See if I can read it.
Features. Almost every Soviet leader tried to solve the housing issue. That's why these buildings are named after the leaders that built them: Stalinka, Khrushchevka, Brezhnevka, and Putinka. Wait, Putinka is actually a vodka brand. This is our courtyard, and around it you can see all types of these buildings. So, for example, this building... Меня снимай! Меня снимай! Wait.
That's so cute.
Let's start with this one. These buildings are known for their monumentality, luxury, architectural elements, design. They were primarily intended for the Soviet elites. Have you already guessed what Soviet leader built this one? Of course, this is Stalinka. Stalinkas were constructed from the late 1930s to the late 1950s. Under Stalin's rule, the country began to rapidly industrialize, and it was necessary to provide everyone moving to cities with housing. So, mass construction of Stalinkas began. Inside the building, there are spacious entrances and halls, 3 to 4 meter high ceilings, and spacious rooms. Stalinist buildings are still considered to be elite houses.
That's beautiful. Why is it that the corner structure is always the the most impressive
Khrushchevkas, on the other
in
hand,
every
were
place
the answer to
inside.
the housing crisis following the World War II, when it was
Khrushchevka.
necessary to rebuild the country. The grey blocks were rapidly constructed mainly from the late 1950s up to 1980s, offering a fast and economical solution to the shortage of housing. So, unlike Stalinkas, they were very compact and cheap and simple to build. Alright, let's go inside my Khrushchevka.
That's her apartment.
Wait, are you subscribed to my channel?
I just
It's a very
subscribed.
private space, so only people who are subscribed.
I just subscribed.
Can come
Is it L-A or L-I?
Now we are in подъезд.
Подъезд.
Подъезд is a Russian term
Подъезд.
that refers to the entrance of the house or the lobby. I live on the 4th floor. There is no elevator here, and that's why most of the Khrushchevkas have 5 floors. Because according to the Soviet standards, if the building has more than 5 floors,
Now-
they have to build an elevator.
Yes.
And that would increase the cost of construction too much.
Whoa! So more than 5 structures or more than 5 stories of every structure need to have an elevator. So yeah, that will be hard for if you live in the 6th floor and every day you will just, going to the stairs back and forth, up and down. So yeah, makes sense. So every more than 5 stories need an elevator.
Extra security. Добро пожаловать. This is my apartment that I rent from one Moscow babushka with my roommate Dasha.
Hello!
Hello!
Long time no see.
Dasha
Yeah.
is a typical person from Siberia that came to Moscow to make some money and to find success. How is it going so far?
It's going well. I'm really making money because
She from Siberia, one of the coldest, if not the coldest place on earth.
of salary in Moscow and in Siberia is huge. I'm building a career and I even
She's
found
cute.
love here.
Where do you like lifestyle more? In Irkutsk, Siberia or Moscow?
That's a hard question for me because like in Moscow you can find everything you want, but in Siberia there is my family, there are my friends, there are a nature that I love so much, Baikal Lake, and still like Moscow for me sounds like city for money, but Siberia is for my soul.
Now let
There
me show
you
you
go.
around.
City
This
for
is a
money,
one-room
Siberia is for the
apartment.
soul.
We're in the living room.
Yeah, because that was your home country. That's where you're from. That's your place. That's where you grow up. But all of us, most of us, not all of us, 90% of us are living our own place for a better pay or a better money or a better future. So we have to. Like me, I'm from the Philippines, so I need to move from Philippines to Australia just to have a better life. So yeah, same story. So yeah, that's a good
Typical
answer.
sounds
The
of
soul
Soviet apartment.
and the
Of
make
course,
money.
there is a cupboard showcasing the best of the tableware. It's a must-have in a Soviet apartment, and a small library consisting of very big books of the Russian classical literature. And this is a balcony. In Soviet Khrushchevkas like this, people usually put lots of stuff that they don't need on the balcony in the hope that they will use it someday in the future.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes full of old
Yeah.
furniture and
So the
lots of
balcony
stuff. So
will be
it's not
the,
like,
like,
for
the shed
example,
for
somewhere in
everyone.
Italy when it's a
Yeah.
nice balcony and people are drinking coffee. Also, it's quite chilly here for a coffee.
Thanks, Mom.
And welcome to the kitchen. Kitchens in Soviet Khrushchevkas are very small. Here is the space for cooking, here is the space for eating, and don't pay attention to this, we are trying to recycle.
Yeah,
Khrushchevkas
sure.
are very compact, they had to be built.
Good that you guys are recycling. Recycling is really good. So if you guys anywhere in the world, if you know where there's a recycle area in your recycle place in your area, keep your plastic as long as there is a 10 cents or 5 cents whatever in the plastic, or it's the plastic is recyclable, whatever stuff that is recyclable, go and help the world in recycling. So yes, here they pay 10 cents each bottle, so I collect all the empty bottle from my work and I collect the empty bottle from our home, and every 2 months I think we go to the recycling area and we change it to money. You make money out of it. Sometimes the biggest one I got is around six I think it's around 70 Australian dollars. So yeah, you help the world, you save money, and yeah, you will be surprised how much money you save from keeping all the recycle. That's good. That's good.
Very fast, and initially they were meant as temporary housing solutions. Authorities plan to replace them with more comfortable houses in the future after the rise of the Soviet Union and communism. That's why they were small and built with minimal costs for building materials due to shortages in the post-war Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Это научные сотрудники Института жилища. Они заботятся о вас, женщины. Несколько шагов за водой, несколько шагов за солью. От плиты к плите складываются километры.
Well, makes sense.
Для того, чтобы
You don't
приготовить
need
борщ,
that
оказывается, надо пройти
spacious.
500 шагов. Ученые хотят избавить вас от лишних движений и размещают оборудование кухни более рационально.
Oh, I'm
And
happy
in
to live
all
something like
Khrushchevkas
this.
there is such windows between a kitchen and a bathroom. You probably wonder, why do we need it? Of course, a Soviet person
Lights.
was always under surveillance of the Communist Party.
Wow.
And they always need to check what media you are reading, what newspapers you're reading.
Really?
Even in the bathroom, the big brother is always watching you. What else is here? Actually, I never
Wow.
paid attention to this, but now I see that there is this door and I have no idea where it leads.
You haven't opened that ever since you moved in there. What's in there? What's in there?
What I saw there is not information for everyone. As I said, Khrushchevkas are very compact, and basically the apartment.
What she saw there is not for everyone. That's what she said. Now that is scary. I mean, it's scary and it's really playing in my head. Like, what did she saw in there? She's not actually lying. The way she said it, it's very genuine that she's not lying on what she said. She saw something and she cannot enclose it. After she said about the windows in between the kitchen, like windows to the side of that bathroom, while they need to see you or whatever you were doing still, even if you're in bathroom. That is crazy. The way she said about that little box there.
Tour is over. Khrushchevkas, just like this one, were built all over the country until 1960s to provide as many citizens
But what's in
with an
there?
apartment as possible. And many families were very happy to receive apartments like this and not to live in a communal housing, to have their own bathroom, to own their own apartment. And from mid 1960s it was when Brezhnev came
I
in
want to know
power.
what's in
And
there.
he decided to build an improved version of Khrushchevkas, Brezhnevkas.
Bre-
The population started to
Brezhnevka.
complain about the
Brezhnevka.
Khrushchev buildings because of small areas, small kitchen, thin wall, lack of elevators. So Brezhnevkas had larger kitchens, trash chutes, elevators, as they usually had up to 16 floors. And apartments overall were wider compared to Khrushchevkas. Such buildings were built until the end of the 1990s.
Buildings are not that colorful.
The new buildings that are
There's
built
the
in
new
Russia
buildings,
now
yeah.
usually look like the one behind me. Huge residential complexes with so many apartments inside of one building like this. Modern and spacious apartments, but actually I'm not sure I would like to buy an apartment in a building like this. It's just buildings like this remind me an ant house, and people there are so small, like ants. Many people in this huge building. I think I would have depression if I lived there and feel like in utopia.
Even I'm not gonna buy, or I'm not gonna live there because I hate heights. I'm not scared, but I hate it. I'm not scared of heights, but like I said, I hate seeing heights all the time. So yeah.
Or something, but I'm not sure. They have very modern apartments, and now I'm in a period of my life when I need to decide where I would like to own a property, but I still haven't decided if I want to settle in Moscow or some other city of Russia. There is lots of advantages of living in Moscow, but also disadvantages. So I'm still deciding where I'm gonna settle. So let's sum up all types of residential buildings in Russia. Stalinkas were constructed during the industrialization
That's
period.
Stalinka.
They're very monumental and have a beautiful architecture.
It is
Then
beautiful.
Khrushchevkas were built to address the post-World War II housing crisis.
Post-World
So
War
these
II.
buildings were only about functionality and minimalism. And then Brezhnevkas came, which are like an upgraded version of Khrushchevkas. And modern buildings reflect the demand for more comfortable living conditions. Some people might say that post-Soviet countries look depressing because of these gray, ugly panels. But these buildings provided...
That's what I'm trying to say earlier. That those buildings are not that colorful. It's like, you know, it brings a not so happy vibes when you saw it. So yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking about it. So yeah,
homes
pardon
for
me for
millions
thinking
of
like
people.
that.
This is not an example of beautiful architecture, of course, but in a country where housing shortages were once a reality, having a roof over your head was a luxury in itself.
Yes,
this was a
ma'am.
small tour of my Khrushchevka and explanation of Russia's grey buildings. Share your opinion. Do you think these buildings look very depressing? And could you live in one of these buildings? Like this Khrushchevka. As for me, yes, this
I can live in one of that building, yes, but after you see something and you explain us about, you can't disclose or you can't tell us about what's in the box, I said no, I will not. Rather move to the next stage of this kind of architecture, but not like this one. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't like the way she said it. Like, oh, what, I see something there. I know she not playing about it, but yeah, I don't like it.
It is not perfect. It's a very small apartment, but right now I am very happy to live here in Moscow for this price. It's very cheap, with a nice roommate, and in this quiet
Nice
and
roommate
green
is
area
always
of the
a
city.
bonus.
And this place gives me an opportunity to do all my hobbies, and I can reach places that I need by walking, which is a luxury for a big city like Moscow. Also, metro is just 10 minutes walk. I will not live here forever, of course, but for this particular period of my life, it's perfect. Every day that I'm here, I'm
You can
happy,
save a lot.
honestly. Even though the capitalist, consumerist world keeps reminding every day that you need a bigger apartment, and when you have that bigger apartment, you need a more luxurious apartment, and only then you will be happy. But
Nah.
don't fall into this trap.
Nah.
That's it from me. Let me know if you already knew the information from my video before, or what things that I mentioned you found interesting, what surprised you the most. And thank you for joining me on this journey through Soviet era living. Пока-пока, see you soon.
Пока-пока! Did I say it right? I like it. So that is my Russian apartment tour by Grace Building Explained. So yes, from LA, from Russia, ready to subscribe, and yeah, just click that notification bell as well, so that I'll always inform every time she has a new video uploaded. So yeah, this is the regular life or apartment a living apartment in Great Soviet building, a regular apartment in Russia. So yeah, this is for you, my brother Pavel and Yuri. Pavel Severov, I think, and Yuri, and everyone else that always supporting my channel. So yeah, I like her channel, I like her video. It's so rare, it's so informative, and yeah, we get a like an actual look of what's going on in her apartment and in Russia, and everything there is so rare, and the way she explained it, so good, very informative. Anyway, so yeah, that is my Russian apartment to Great Soviet building. I'm your boy CruXido Mack. Keep safe, keep healthy. Outro.
Mga nagawa nyo, pati pagbugay nakakatulig sa buwan ng rehistro. Katin ng iyong mga bibig, dali lang na mabisto. Dali